Welcome to another edition of Triton Talk. I am Marianne Mitchell, Associate AD for Communications at UMSL, and I am pleased to be joined by head volleyball coach Ryan Young. Coach, welcome. How are you doing, and how has work from home life been going for you?
Hey, thanks for having me. We're doing well here. Myself and my wife are working from home, and keeping our 2-year-old Colleen busy is definitely a chore. But we do a good job of staggering our meetings and stuff like that, and try to knock out as much work as we can during nap time, which is right now. So she won't be popping in, thank goodness. But no, it's been good. Obviously, it's a different style than we're used to, just like everyone else. But we're trying to make the most of it, and being as productive as we can, and chatting with our student athletes and recruits and stuff like that. So I feel like it's going well. I get to spend some more time with my family, which is great. But so far, so good.
And then speaking of recruits, how has this national pandemic and the NCAA recruiting ban kind of altered how you do recruit?
Sure. So a lot of phone calls. I feel like typically we'd be more emailing and then inviting kids to campus for visits. But now it's a lot more phone calls, and then throwing in Zoom calls as well, just to get face to face with them. It's interesting. It's been good. It's a learning process for everyone, not only the student athletes, but for us as coaches. And you learn to be more tech savvy, which is great. I've learned a lot of different things on Zoom and other things that I'm going to use in the future, even when the pandemic's closing up, hopefully soon. But it's been good. It's interesting learning from their perspective as well. I think they're all in the same boat, kids that are uncommitted, and they're all looking. Most of the kids we talk to are the class of 2021, and they're in the same boat, but we're in the same boat as well, not being able to have visits and stuff. So I think it's just being patient, and a lot of them are, and have a good mindset with that. So we're the same way. We're not going to rush into any decisions, and we want to obviously find the right fits for our program, position by position.
Sure. And then speaking of your program, last year you guys had a really successful season. You were 29-5 and got that berth to the NCAA tournament. And then you were starting the spring season when COVID-19 kind of hit. Talk a little bit about losing that spring season. Obviously, it's not your main year, but you do get to practice some and play some games.
Yeah. Obviously it kind of ended pretty abruptly in March. I think March 9th was maybe our last practice, or somewhere around there, March 9th or 12th. But we did have a spring scrimmage, and we learned a little bit about ourselves. We didn't play great, but that's fine. The spring's about learning. I think the biggest setback from losing the time in the gym is seeing the growth from all of our younger kids, or kids that didn't play that much in the fall. We graduated 5 just recently. So we're looking for different kids that come in and step into those roles. And we were seeing some good improvements, February and March, wishing to see those continue through April, but that's stuff happens. But we were having a good time and just getting better day by day. And I think the biggest thing I told our group is, we're going to have a target on our back moving forward now, with the success we had last year, where years previous we had some pretty good seasons, but nothing like last season. So I think a lot of teams are going to have UMSL circled on their schedule, and we're going to have to be our best, because we're going to get the other team's best every night out. So I think that's the biggest challenge we talked about a lot in the spring in our team meetings.
And like you said, you did lose 5 seniors, but you're also going to have quite a bit of talent returning, a couple All-Americans and other key players. So kind of talk about how you build on the success from last year with some of those key players returning, as well as your newcomers.
Sure. So definitely return some very nice pieces to our roster. Some really high accolades from last year. I think yet again the challenge we talk about with those returners is that our team's going to be different. We lost some, and I think every year that's the case, but you kind of look at those returners and put them in a leadership, spot. Whereas last year, maybe they weren't in the spotlight as much. So I think the younger kids or the less experienced kids will be looking to those kids to really help them along with our team, and just our, match by match and tight game situations where I felt like last year we did a pretty good job in tight games for the most part. And it's just changing that leadership from person to person, is going to be the biggest challenge for those kids. There's going to be a bigger load on, some different attackers as well. So I think I'm excited about it. We have a lot of good pieces to our roster, and the biggest goal is just to continue to get better every day. And now in some challenging times, we talk about that all the time with, getting better without maybe a ball. How do we get better in the weight room and lifting and all those things? So I think that's the biggest thing moving forward for us.
Now, you were named the GLVC Coach of the Year last year, which is a pretty big honor. But your brother, the head men's volleyball coach, was named the National Coach of the Year for NAIA. So does he have one up on you, or how does that work in the young brothers with the young brothers?
Yeah. When that came out, I guess, it was 2019 in the spring. So, after their season ended, which was it was his first season too. It's like, goodness. But after their season ended, I was like, oh gosh, I better kick it into high gear. He's going to have a lot of bragging rights. So unfortunately, their season this year got cut short in the spring. But they still voted for all, conference coach of the year and all those things. And he didn't get it this year. So I can kind of give him some trouble about that. But National Coach of the Year, that's impressive. And I'm super proud of him. He's a good coach, and he's obviously in the same boat as everyone else. They're trying to figure out what happens next. And, I know they bring a lot of good pieces back as well. So I told them, they lost in the national semifinals that year, and that was they were 31-1. That was their only loss. And I told them, he's like, I'd get rid of that Coach of the Year to win a national title. I was like, okay, good. Make sure you stick with that plan. So hopefully next spring they can continue to succeed and have the success they're having. But yeah, he's definitely got a one up on me. I got some more work to do, so I'm still working at it.
And then you guys both grew up in St. Louis. You played high school volleyball, and then you went to MOBAP yourself and played volleyball there. What kind of got you into playing volleyball?
Oh gosh. So yeah, we're 15 months apart. So he's 15 months older than me, which was a huge advantage for me. My mom coached our grade school team. I think you can start in like third grade maybe. And we played everything, pretty much every sport. But yeah, she's like, oh, I play volleyball in this rec league, and we would go and watch. I'm like, okay, this is terrible. But I would always tag along to practice. And so I started a year younger than most kids, and I just really enjoyed it. It was fun. It's a unique game. And then, once I started, I got to play my own age group. So we actually got to play again, obviously throughout high school, but then club his senior year, my junior year, I had to play up, and it was a lot of fun. It's just, being able to spend a lot of time with, your brother is one of your best friends, obviously being so close in age. It was a lot of fun. And so yeah, just at a young age, I was around the game, and I never stopped loving it. So here we are today. It's pretty cool.
So is that part of the reason why you got into coaching volleyball then, just because you love the game so much after playing it for so many years?
Oh gosh, I guess so. I mean, I graduated in 2008, and had just a business administration degree. So I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And I had always coached club in college. I actually started coaching when I was 19, so pretty young. I coached younger ages in club, and really, really loved it. I didn't think it could be like a career. But yeah, here I am starting, I guess year 10 it is at UMSL, which, man, it goes by fast. But yeah, it's when I knew that was a possibility, I think I really wanted that opportunity. And obviously UMSL gave me my first bigger full-time coaching opportunity. here we are, still going at it, trying to get better.
Yes, for sure. And like you said, we're getting ready to start year 10. So Coach, thanks for joining us on Triton Talk, and we look forward to seeing you and the Tritons back on the volleyball court this fall.
Thank you.